Hello, everyone. I, Isha Kore, am your host for the day, and I'm the reigning Miss Teen India Worldwide. And today we have a very special guest with us who is the reigning Miss Teen India USA and Miss Teen India Michigan. Let's welcome Navya. Hi, Navya.
Hi, Isha. Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. And I think this is our first time meeting, even though it's virtually after the pageant.
Yeah, I think you're right. So I'm even more excited for that. Yeah.
So let's get right into it. I wanted to really talk about your pageant journey first. And I ask every single pageant queen this question because I feel like it's such an interesting story to hear. So, how did you first enter pageantry and what made you enter pageantry?
So I think this whole journey was kind of unexpected for me. But definitely we can start from the beginning. I submitted my state pageant application on the last day of the deadline. So it was kind of a last minute decision because I was kind of thinking, is this something I should do or not? But then I decided this is the last thing before I moved away to college. So I said, okay, I'll just do it. What's the worst that can happen? So that's how it all started. And then from there, I just gained this huge, big family of supporters. So that's kind of how everything started. Yeah.
I love it when people say it was like a last minute decision and then they go on this huge journey that's like so life changing.
Yeah, it definitely was. It definitely was for me. I was very unexpected.
So talk about how this journey has like who you were before the pageant and who you are now that you've already experienced some of your reign.
I think my view of pageants was completely different before I got into, especially this organization, Miss Teen India. It really, I thought it was more about the outer beauty, and I realized how much of it depends on inner beauty. So I think that was a big change for me. And then also just seeing how this platform can change lives. Really, it's something really powerful that I didn't realize until it was on my title. Yeah.
I for sure agree with that. And I also, while I was, stalking you a little bit to come up with questions for this interview, I found out that you were actually the first Malayali to ever win this crown. And that is huge. So congratulations again. But talk about some of the responsibilities that come with being the first Malayali to win the crown, and talk about how that made you feel. You're representing a whole culture along with, being an Indian American woman.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first thoughts that had occurred to me after my crowning, that, wow, this is incredible that I'm representing such a huge part of myself as well. Since I was little, I've just grown with this community, this Malayali community that have been surrounding me and supporting me. So I felt really proud, I think is the great word to describe it, that I could make them proud. So it was just kind of a moment to take in. But yeah, I think it does have responsibility also, because there are so many girls looking up, even like South Indian girls in general, looking up to me as someone who has changed their pathway, who has showed them like that it's available to them as well, that they can have this as well. So I don't know if that was the best way to put it, but yeah.
No, for sure. I think before us, people didn't really know pageantry was like, available to South Asians in particular. So I'm so glad that you're using this platform to kind of, push that into your culture as well. But jumping off of the culture dialogue, I do know that you're a trained Bharatanatyam dancer.
Yeah.
Did you do Bharatanatyam for your talent round for the pageant?
I did do Bharatanatyam because I was most comfortable with it. So I did.
Of course. But talk about what Bharatanatyam means to you, because it's also like heavily rooted in culture, right? So how did you get into it and what does it mean to you?
So I started at a very young age again with that. And I'm also a classically Carnatic trained musician, singer. So yeah, so I've been put on stages since I was really young. And I think that helped me a lot in the pageant world, where I could just be myself on stage and not have to worry about confidence, I think. So a big, huge thanks goes to my parents for that. So that is how that has helped me in the pageant world, but also it's kind of my channel to express myself through the different characters in Bharatanatyam. You know, you can express your own life through these characters. So that's a big part of my life. It's especially kind of like a relaxing part of my day when I get to dance. And my guru, actually, Srimati Sandhya Atmakuri, who is from Michigan here, has also played a really influential role in my life, as she's taught me like a bunch of life lessons through dance, which is incredible. And she's kind of found a way to specialize her teaching style so that it's unique to everyone, which I love.
That's so sweet. I admire all of you classically trained dancers because I feel like there's so much that you guys gain out of that. So it's so amazing that you guys put so much effort into, you know, all of your dance routines. But I didn't know that you were a Carnatic singer. So I will put you on the spot real quick. Please sing us something, just something super quick. We just want to hear your beautiful voice.
A Carnatic song? Okay. Oh gosh, Isha. Let me think. This is one of the first songs that I've kind of learned and my mom loves. So I'll sing like the end, like swaram part of it. Oh gosh. Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Okay. Sa sa ni 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 pa 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 ma ga ma pa ni ma pa ni sa ga ga sa ni pa ni pa ma ga pa ma ni pa sa ni ni sa ga pa ni sa ma pa ni ga ma pa sa ga sa ma ga pa ni sa ga ma ga ga sa ni pa ni ma pa ga ma pa sa ga ma pa ni sa ga ma pa ni ma gere tanaye e malate.
Oh, that was so good, Navya. Your voice is so therapeutic. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that, but that was so good.
Thank you. I haven't practiced that in a while, so brought it back to memory.
That's amazing. Thank you for doing that on the spot. But I'm learning so much about you, by the way. But I also learned that you were the captain of your tennis team when you were in high school. So you're also athletic. But how is that? How is getting into tennis and then also being a captain means you have had a lot of leadership opportunities, right? Like you have to lead your whole team. So how is, you know, being in a leadership position for you within your own high school?
Yeah, being a captain taught me a lot about leadership. And it's kind of helped me throughout my life, even now in the university. So I've realized that leadership is a lot more about listening to other people. So that has been a great value that I've added into my daily life, kind of listening to other people and their feedback, especially now being in the eyes of the public a lot. It's important to listen to feedback and change where you feel necessary. And that comes into play a lot with leadership. So that's a big thing that I've learned through tennis, and also just being encouraging to everyone and kind and caring and all of these things to make a great team. So yeah.
Well, jumping off of you being kind and caring, you're also a really service-oriented person. And again, after stalking you, I realized that you won multiple awards for service within your own Michigan community, right? So talk about some of the service that you did do for your community and how you were such a helpful person during, you know, COVID times within Michigan.
Yeah, so I enjoy being a part of nonprofits because it gives me a chance to give back to the community, and that's something my parents have taught me is really, really important. So especially during COVID, I think it started more me realizing, maybe with age as well, that how important it is. So I've done things. I'm really healthcare centered, I think, just because that's also what I want to do in the future. So I've done things like going to nursing homes and traveling. I've traveled to Peru, like small villages. It's kind of my goal in the future to, after going to medical school and everything, to use that knowledge to travel to underdeveloped countries, third world countries, where I can help wherever I can. So that's my goal. I have a list of countries that I'm trying to get through. So one of the first ones was Peru, where I went to. So yeah, that's just a little bit. And I also enjoy doing things in my community itself. So through the Detroit Malayali Association, there's a lot of opportunities that come that are more local. So I also like to see how my efforts are being used, if that makes sense, kind of seeing the direct impact. Yeah. So there's
That's amazing. And I bet you will become an extraordinary physician, travel across the world. That is so good for you.
thank you. Thank you. That is the
But
goal. Yeah.
well, that was more so like your high school career, right? Now that you're in college, you're a freshman in college, right?
Yeah.
So I know freshman year, like, it just started, but what has college taught you so far? Especially because this is like probably the first time that you're living on your own without your parents, without like a support system, right?
Yeah.
Whenever you need them, right? So what has college taught you so far?
I think it's taught me a lot about being independent. But I also know that my parents have let me be independent while I'm home as well. But more than that, I think valuing other people, I kind of talked about this a little, but valuing other people and their opinions have taught me a lot. At the University of Michigan, it's very diverse. And just seeing how other people listen to everyone's opinions and value them has changed me a lot, because that's not something I saw a lot in high school, but in college it was kind of more apparent. So I think that that was a really big lesson to show me that like I should pay more attention to what other people are thinking and use their knowledge to collaborate with mine, if that makes sense.
No, for sure. I agree with you. I'm a sophomore now in college, and I totally see what you just said, because you're just bombarded with so many different types of people in college. So you really have to figure out, how to listen to everyone, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
So now changing gears to your family life, right? I wanted to ask you about your younger brother, because I recently found out that you too have a younger brother like me. And as an older sister, I know that we have lots of responsibilities, right? So I wanted to ask you, what do you think is the most important thing that we should be teaching our younger brother?
Yeah, so I think it's important to kind of pave the path for them and kind of just be a guidance with everything they're learning. And it's confusing sometimes for them. So it's important to be there for them, kind of like a role model, even though my brother would never call me his role model. But it's important to be there for them and kind of just be like their emotional support, also, especially with them being men, some boys, sometimes they don't enjoy showing their emotions. So it's important for us to be there in that way. It's also important for us as women to teach them a little bit about how they should be treating others. I think that's also really important. Even though our parents obviously do teach that, it's also important to reinforce what they're learning. So I think that's mostly what we can teach them. They'll learn a lot on their own.
I agree. But on the other flip side of it, what do you think is one of the biggest pressures of being an older sibling, specifically an older sister?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot being first generation Indian Americans, right? That's huge on our part and kind of a lot of pressure. I'm lucky enough to have very supportive parents, but there are certain things that we learn on our own, right? It's not something not that they don't want to help, but sometimes we feel the need to learn on our own. And so that is really a lot of pressure. And it's also important to understand that a lot of kids like us realize that we have to show the next generation their way as well. So that kind of becomes something that's in the back of our mind, but also it's such a blessing to be able to pave that path because we have so many people like waiting to see what we'll do. So that's also really, really a cool aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That was such a beautiful answer. And jumping off of that, I'm a big like mental health person, right? And as South Asians, mental health is often stigmatized in our culture.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, because I also have really supportive parents, and you said that you have supportive parents. So I think that's a blessing for us, because not many people are, privileged enough to have such supportive parents. So talk a little bit about having supportive parents, mental health, and being a South Asian.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Mental health is very, very stigmatized, especially in our community. And I think the only way to get comfortable with that is to talk about it more. We just have to have conversation about it. It has to be something that we feel free about talking about, or else we're not going to progress anywhere with making changes. And I think that has to start with our generation as fast as we can, because it's not something that we can wait for our parents and our aunties and uncles to start talking about. It's something that we need to start. And even if it's uncomfortable, it's something that has to happen. It's inevitable. And it's something we have to show our younger generation that it's okay to talk about. So I guess the end goal is to just start conversation about it and start communicating stories of people, you know, who have come out, who have been brave enough to share their stories, and just go through that whole process first. Yeah.
I love that. Oh, I think that's such a positive note to end on. And I wanted to go into a quick little rapid fire.
Okay.
I'm assuming you know how a rapid fire works. So I'm just going to ask you questions. You just have to shoot out your answers as fast as you can.
You are full of surprises today. Okay.
I am. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. What is your go-to lazy dinner?
Oh gosh. This is not rapid fire. Burger. I like burger.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing to do in the summertime?
Dance outside. It's so pretty in the grass.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. What is one of your nicknames?
A lot of my family calls me Bawati, so it's like baby in Malayalam. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could afford to buy any car or any vehicle, which one would you buy?
I have this obsession with like G-Wagons now. I don't know why, but that would be mine. Yeah.
I've never heard that one. That one's unique.
I know. Yeah.
What is one regret that you have in life?
Oh gosh. I don't know.
I got you. Okay. Okay. We can move on. What movie do you enjoy quoting the most?
So I'm a big old Hindi person. So definitely like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, or like the classics, any of the classics. Yeah.
With aggression all the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you could be transformed into one animal, which one would you choose?
Tiger. I think they're very powerful.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, last one. What is your hidden talent other than, you know, being an amazing dancer, singer, service person, you know, pageant queen?
Like something goofy, I guess. I can like, this might be gross. I can like put my finger behind my hand like this.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. That's also unique. I've never seen someone do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So since you have won Miss Teen India USA and Miss Teen India Michigan, there's so much that you can do with your platform. So talk to us a little bit about what you will be doing with your platform, and also what your future goals are after, you know, passing down your crown to the next winner.
Yeah, so I really hope to leave this legacy for after my reign. I have so many ideas of different platforms I want to support, and I think that's how I want to use my voice. It's something that not a lot of people realize, but a lot of people listen once you have this title. So especially through social media, I want to support all these causes, especially with like health equity, women empowerment. There's so many causes that I have in my list, and I'm just ready to start putting them out there. And in terms of future, I'm competing in Miss Teen India worldwide in the end of April, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to all of your support for that as well.
Of course, you got all my support all the time, fellow Michigan.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us on this episode, Navya. It was such a pleasure to get to know you better and to finally catch up with you.
Thank you so much, Isha. And I really have to thank you for being a wonderful host today. And then, of course, Mana TV International for inviting me today. And then my pageant directors, Mira Bedi and Rupali Bedi from Michigan, who started this whole journey for me. And then my nationals director, Dharmatma Uncle and Neela Manti. Thank you so much for your help and support. And thank you all for watching today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers, for watching this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed it as much as Navya and I did catching up with each other. I'll see you again next week with another beauty queen, and we'll talk more about her journey and the life lessons that she learned. But please be sure to catch the full episode on Mana TV's Facebook, and also please subscribe to the Mana TV YouTube channel. Thank you, and see you next week.